Today on the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast, we are discussing She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, episode 6 of the first season. Just Jen. It's just Jen. Attorney at Law. All that and more that we have no control over.
Welcome to the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast. My name is Matthew Carroll.
And I'm Jeff Randall.
And with us today, in our third chair, we have the lovely Hayley Hobbs. How you doing, Hayley?
I am wonderful. How are you fellas?
Oh, so good. So good.
So good.
So good.
Really glad you could hop in very last minute. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I was already hooked up for podcasting, so, seamless transition.
I love it. I love it. Well, we really needed some feminine energy on this one because me nor Jeff have ever been a bridesmaid.
Oh, I have so many things to say about this wedding.
Yeah. I've dated girls that were bridesmaids, and a lot of this seemed to hit very close to home on those tropes.
I have done not many of either of those things.
Well, you're not missing out on either, I'm going to say.
I felt like this episode just really didn't hit home with me as much.
I couldn't really identify.
Yeah. Why?
I haven't been to very many weddings.
Why are all the heroes bridesmaids now? Why aren't they groomsmen?
Cancel bridesmaids.
Cancel bridesmaids. I'm sure that was said a few years ago about that comedy. Okay, so let's talk about... Well, Hayley, you haven't been on the podcast since we started covering She-Hulk. What's your experience like so far? 6 episodes in. What are you thinking?
I think it's lots of fun. The thing that's really good for, obviously, the female audience is every episode has something relatable in it. And that's not something we get a lot of in media all the time. And so, of course, that's making it popular. But I love the humor. I love the fourth wall stuff. I love how just silly it is and how it doesn't take itself seriously.
Yeah, man, I completely agree. It has been really fun. It has been very fun. What? I can't call...
it's whatever, man.
Yeah, man, it is whatever, man.
Man is a gender fluid term.
That's decidedly wrong. Like, patently false.
Well, I mean, when you say mankind, all mankind.
Humankind.
Right.
Oh, my gosh.
Totally fine.
Totally fine.
Okay.
Karen McThomas in the chat's like, pivot!
All right, so back to getting to this episode specifically. I really enjoyed this. I think it's just so much fun, and this had a lot of Matt service, which I have now decided, we've talked about what Jeff service is, and Jeff service is basically any of the ladies that are
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk specifically, or Captain Carter, any ladies with lots of muscle, that's Jeff service. I've decided what Matt's service is, and it's just Tatiana Maslany on the dance floor. Like, that's it. Yeah. Just that specific thing. I will fall for that every time. I am in love with Tatiana Maslany. I am sad that she's married. I am absolutely in love. I love her for a long time since Orphan Black, but this episode when she's dancing around and waving her arms and just getting drunk and partying, that is Matt Speed at a wedding, and I loved it. I loved it so much, especially by herself. She's not waiting on anybody. She's not even like grabbing.
She don't need no man.
That's right.
No.
She's not grabbing a creepy uncle or friends. Like, a lot of times.
Those were not her friends.
Right. Like, but there's nobody there who she needs to grab and be on the dance floor with. She's just confidently out there by herself. I really respect that on a dance floor.
It's the only way to be on a dance floor, if we're being honest.
I totally agree.
I love that that's the thing that you gravitated toward so much, Matt. Like, having played so many weddings, like...
Yeah, how many drunk single girls have you seen on the dance floor at weddings?
No, there's none. They don't do that.
Oh, you've never been to a wedding I was at then?
I've not seen a Hayley at a wedding. No, but that's the thing is, like, I've been to thousands of weddings, and it's like no one does that. But I'm the guy that does that. So seeing her do that, I was like, oh, Jen.
Oh, Jen.
I love just Jen so much.
I love just Jen. I loved when, again, to the Jeff service, when like she strides up as She-Hulk and is just like in her nice dress and decked out, and the rest of them are just like, oh my God, and your ass looks amazing. She's like, oh my, thanks.
Like, yeah, it does. Look at it.
Yeah, look at it. Let's look at it some more. And then
let me rub it a little bit.
Yeah, put my hand on it.
Your ass is insane right now.
Goals.
Right? Like, she squats.
She squats. We've talked a lot about the CGI, and a lot of complaints have been said about the CGI. I think that scene was the best She-Hulk CGI they've done. The skin was so much more realistic than all of the sort of, I don't know, it just almost looks like liquid sometimes. Like there's just like no form to it. And something about the light and shading on the skin made that scene look really phenomenal. We were talking about a little bit, me and Brian Keegan in the live watch, and I think it's because they needed that they used that in the early trailer. So they had a lot of time to work on that specific shot. And I'm guessing that's like why that shot is so good, but that looks as good as movie quality Banner to me. Because they just had time.
Yeah, you can see the texture of her skin and the veins and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. When she got all the green veins and her shoes popped off because her feet got bigger, and then it cut to the just amazing comic timing of Tatiana Maslany going, oh, I forgot how to do it.
This is pathetic. Okay. I don't like Titania. We're not supposed to like Titania, right? Because
I don't think we're supposed to like Titania.
I don't think we're supposed to like her, but I do think after this episode, we're supposed to start feeling a little bit of empathy for her. Personally.
I don't feel any empathy for her.
Okay, I hear that. I just think there's a little bit of like, when she falls and her veneers fall out, and it becomes clear.
That's what you get for starting a fight.
Absolutely. But it becomes clear her motivations are all from like a lack. Like she has to work really hard to be who she is, and to put on this face that she's putting on. I just think they're going for something there. Maybe not. Maybe wrong. I may be wrong. She may be the mustache.
No, I think you might be right. Titania. But I'm just kind of like, I mean, you're tall and you're pretty and you're super strong. So like, you go, girl. But instead you're being petty AF and attacking somebody at this wedding that she's in. Granted, this wedding sucks and she doesn't want to be there, but still. Yeah. Don't be doing that.
It's interesting. We talked last week a little bit about, you weren't here either, Jeff. But we talked about the fact that like every one of our heroes has the problem of putting down the knife, as it were, for Doctor Strange, or blowing up the suits or whatever. Like they're always like, they always want to be out front, and then they have to kind of like learn to step away and learn to have less ego. And the interesting thing about Jen for a Marvel hero is that she doesn't have an ego, and she's incredibly self-deprecating all the time. And I think she's sort of on the inverse journey of a lot of the heroes that we've seen. And I think that's kind of neat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily agree with that, though, because like in this episode, she very much was like, I just wanted to come to a wedding where I could show off that I'm doing great. I'm doing really good. I have a great job. I have, all the money, whatever. I'm yada, yada. Like she's successful in life, and like the things that other people care about are not necessarily the things that she cares about. And that's not what she has as a metric for success for herself. So like,
right.
It seemed like she was a little bit egotistical in that, like, I wanted to show off that I'm doing great. Like,
right. She shows up as She-Hulk, knowing it's the golden rule of weddings. You don't show up the bride at her wedding. And she knew what she was doing, rolling in that gorgeous dress by what's his name, Luke, and so you're right. But then she's immediately taken down a peg too, by her friend going, excuse me, what do you think you're doing? You can't do this at my wedding. It's my day. And so here she is trying to embrace it, like you're saying, Matt, and then she's told not to.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's what I'm kind of getting at with the idea of that is like, I think she's been sort of taught socially to not be the guy who's always out front. She's, from the very beginning, the very first scene we have with her, we have a man telling her, it'd probably be better if I took that. Like I should do this speech. Yeah. That's kind of what I'm getting at. I think, like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but
I'm that
see
girl.
Something
I was the girl raised not to draw attention to yourself and to be humble and to be in the background and to not be always in the front. And it's really hard to break that pattern. It's really hard. I'm 33 and I'm still working on it. And so I like totally understood where she was coming from, and it backfired on her, and sometimes it does. But yeah, she's really struggling with how to present both sides of herself in ways that are meaningful to everybody and to her at the same time.
Well, to me, it's like that's who Jen is, but She-Hulk, by virtue of what She-Hulk is immediately thrust into the limelight and can't not be that. But it's just, but even then, Jen almost always wants to be the Jen version of herself, and she wants to be liked for the Jen version of herself. But the She-Hulk version, she's finally, like you said, this episode and the dating episode.
She's not married them yet, because when she is She-Hulk, she's still a little bit more than Jen. She's putting on a little bit more of a persona than when she's just in her, my favorite line from last week, small, impish form of Jen. You try to figure out how to be yourself at all times, and when you're normally small and then you're huge and you're green and you're strong, I can't imagine.
Yeah, for sure. I'm right there with you. I just think that it's so hard to unprogram yourself from things you learned as a child and things you learned to be or do or socialize to do. And like, I think that just some of that's going on with this show. And it's like she programmed to be this way, and now she has to be this way by virtue of she's just demanding attention by being herself, by being She-Hulk. And now it's like, how does she learn to embrace that? Titania is the opposite, though. I think Titania worked really hard to be in the limelight and put in a lot of work to be the person and to portray that view of herself. And I think the veneers falling off at the end is like a very poetic thing to happen. The veneer has fallen down, and she's just, maybe she does have flaws. She's not the beauty that she portrays in the commercials.
Like she says to Jen when she starts to beat her up, why do you deserve all of this attention and glory for something you didn't even ask for and you don't deserve? Yeah. And that's kind of that. And that's female on female. Yeah, you didn't even want it. That's that female on female stuff that's like, well, I worked my ass off to get to where I am, but you stroll in and you're maybe like somebody's niece or nephew or cousin, and you
got
get it
bled on accident.
So it was an accident, and I did all this work, and I deserve more. I should, and I think she's gonna find out. She's shoulding all over herself.
Well, that's a great thing that you brought up there. In that, like, there was that the B plot of this episode where that same thing was happening, where there was literally a set of ex-wives of Mr. Immortal, and they were arguing and bickering like, I had 18 years with him, she had 3, why do we get the same amount? Like, she had a kid, well, that was your mistake. My kid's not a mistake. Like, there was a whole bunch of animosity going on there. Like, it was a lot. It was that amplified.
Yeah, it's the competition.
And not to get all, to be the preacher's son here, it's sort of the the prodigal son storyline, where you've got like the son who worked for everything, and then the son who steps in and just gets everything handed back to him because he's still a son. And then it's that storyline of like, the moral of that story has nothing to do with how the father's acting or how the brother who finally comes back is acting. It's about how petulant the good brother is, the brother who stuck around, and he's like, why does he deserve anything? He's like, no, like, I give to both my children. That's what I'm going to do. And I don't know. It's I think I see a lot of that with both of those storylines you're talking about, the wives bickering and the Titania versus Jen thing.
I love that one of them's compensation was a meaningful apology with at least 20 seconds of eye contact.
Yeah. That's interminable.
15, and then he ruined it, so she tacked on 5 more.
Yeah.
It's so good, them all sitting around and being like, and them just enjoying punishing Mr. Immortal, like the lawyer and Nikki.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, when they are like attacking him after they realize what his issue is, and he jumps out the window. I mean, that's desperate not to be in a confrontation, is jumping out the window.
Yeah.
I've been there.
No.
I wanted to jump out the window for him.
Oh, he was fine. Come on.
Yeah, no, that was literally not a problem at all. Like, bro, come on. But like, I love their question to each other. It's like, how in the actual hell does that guy who fears confrontation and commitment so much have so many ex-wives? Like, how did he get so many? Why did he get married so many
Mallory
times?
says something like, and you decided you should get married when you don't like confrontation.
Why?
Yeah, people do not understand how much confrontation marriage takes. I don't. I definitely don't.
I'm not confrontational in my marriage, but you have to be willing to have hard conversations.
That's what I mean, I guess. I think that's what they mean.
I think it is too. I take confrontational as very different, like very aggressive.
Oh yeah,
but I think that's what they were going.
You can be
for.
confrontational in love, in kindness, but like still like we need to confront this issue. Like this has to happen. I'm definitely bad at that.
I'm confrontational in love.
Yeah.
It's like this, Matt. I fucking love you. All right.
That's aggressive
Deal
love.
with it.
Yeah, that's just aggression. That's not confrontation.
Hey, you chill out, Hayley. You're amazing.
I was gonna say I'm gonna come after you, but never mind. You were nice. Aggressively.
I'm gonna come after you, and I'm gonna hug you.
Her claws came out immediately. She's like, Hayley cat.
I'm here for that superhero.
I love it so much. What crime are you going to fight in Kansas?
Terrible weddings. So let me talk about this wedding, you guys.
Yes.
This wedding
Do it.
sucks on so many levels.
Yep.
Why?
many.
Nikki's right, because Nikki's always right, is what I've decided.
Yep.
For sure.
Nikki's right. Why is this wedding on a Thursday? And then there's no like lead up to this wedding. They're just there and they have some sort of shenanigans and then it's the wedding. What is that? What is that? I've never been to a wedding like that. That's insane. Where was did she go to bachelorette party? Did she go to showers? Like, I don't understand. The bridesmaid box asking her to be the bridesmaid is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. And it's like so indicative of how dumb and full of pageantry everything has to be now. Can we talk about promposals? Nope, that's another thing I'll go off on another day. Like, everything's bad. And then you get through the whole thing. The bride's terrible. Her dress looks like crap. And there's like 20 people at this wedding.
Right.
So
Yeah.
what's the point, I guess, is the end of my rant.
Yeah, it was pretty terrible. And the way she was treating Jen throughout, and clearly out of like jealousy and anger about the She-Hulk thing, and also just like they weren't that close to begin with. There's probably like other things they in their past.
No, I know what it is. Jen is her only reliable friend in her life, like forever. And so she's like, I know who I can get to do all the crappy stuff. We'll invite Jen and she'll be one of the bridesmaids and she'll get the shitty, crazy looking dog as her groomsman to walk down that. She'll have to iron the shirts. She'll have to clean up.
Jonathan.
That's what it was.
That poor dog.
It's not Jonathan's fault, but still.
Yeah. Jonathan needed to be put out of his misery like 2 years ago from the look
But
of
they
it.
resuscitated him that morning. So it was
Resuscitated that morning.
Poor
He's
Jonathan.
so brave.
He's also a victim.
They said he's so brave, and I was like, do I know?
But that's who Jen is for that person. It's like, oh, I could always count on her. She always came through for me, so I'm going to take advantage of her.
Yeah, and like the thing that Nikki was saying was like, you just say no. Like, you could just say no.
For real.
And Jen was like, but like, how am I going to say no? And she said, just say no.
Because Jen's a people pleaser, like so many people are. And that's such a, like we're talking, that's such a hard pattern to break.
It's such a hard thing to balance. It's just hard to balance. Like, if you're a kind person and you want to be a kind person, and then you learn that lesson to not be a people pleaser, and then it's so hard not to go too far. Like, you got to like attenuate that, because there's a line between like just being nice and kind to people and going too far, exhausting yourself, giving too much. And Jen absolutely is there with her willingness. But yeah, you're at a wedding and the bride asks you to do something. But
Can you help me clean up?
Yeah, it's so bad. It's so bad. Can you iron these shirts?
The catering staff's quitting because I'm treating them poorly. Yeah, you're treating
Because of how
everybody
I'm treating
poorly.
them.
I loved it. I love the quotations because I'm treating them poorly.
How dare
How
she
you
use
didn't-
quotations like Madison and use them incorrectly? I do not approve.
See, I was thinking, like, how are you going to use a catering staff for the 20 people that are there?
I mean-
half of whom are in the wedding party,
She might as well have had a potluck.
right?
Yeah, 100%. Weirdly, though, I've been to weddings about that size.
Oh, that's great.
I've played weddings about that size that were like, they had our full band, where we're like a third of the audience. Like, we're a third of the size of the audience.
I've been to a wedding like that, but it was like wedding 2 or 3. It wasn't like, now we don't
That
know.
is-
Maybe this was Lulu's second.
Yeah.
That's something we don't know.
It's
But
likely.
it didn't seem like it.
Man,
Yeah.
one of the worst cutting lines was when she's like, "Oh no, I don't care about that. I'm really happy in my career and I've got superpowers and da da da." And she's like, "Oh no, I don't care about that. I don't care about that. Tell me about what's going on. Do you have a
Do you
boyfriend?"
have a man's?
She's like, "No,
Tell me about
no."
your man's.
It's okay.
Oh, you still have time.
Yeah, she says, "You still have a little bit of time."
Let's
So a little bit of
all as
time.
a collective world strike that phrase from our vernacular right now, please. The things
Yeah.
people say to you in your 30s or just after your 20s, let's be
Yeah.
honest, is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like, there's no. It's like it's ingrained in our culture to have a template for how life is supposed to be. Like, not everybody's life is like that.
No.
We all got to walk a different path,
That's
man.
right. That's
Some
right.
of us take the road less traveled.
I like that you were vibing with it.
I was totally vibing with you.
We had Incredible Hulk.
Oh, God.
You know what? I liked Chet in this episode.
Me too. Apparently made out with the bride, according to the drawings at the end.
Oh, yeah. Well, she looked like she was
God.
about ready to make out with everybody by the
Yep,
end
yep.
there.
Well,
So
and that's what I was gonna say. So
She was trash.
she's terrible. Do we even meet the groom in this episode? I don't even think we do.
No,
Like, it's
they're
so
just like,
about
he's
the
over
bride.
there.
He's one of those three. It doesn't matter.
One of the esports gamers.
Yeah, exactly.
Ugh.
But the thing that redeemed her, and it does often redeem people. They're terrible people, mean to you all the time. But she's a lovely drunk. Just a lovely drunk. Just so fun to be around. Loves everybody. Doesn't mind being shown up at her wedding. She's like, She-Hulk's at my wedding.
She still threw a little shade at Jen because of her boobs.
You know, to me that sounded like uncomfortableness. She's like, oh, and you got big boobs. Okay, let's sort of backed off.
She's like,
a little bit.
congrats, whatever.
Congrats, whatever. And yeah.
Yeah, not jealous.
Her dress was a shambles, I just have to say. I don't know what was going on with that.
Yeah,
The
that
brides?
looked like a
She looked like some kind of freaky baby doll. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah, it
it's
was
high class. I don't know.
the hard collar mixed
Yeah.
with the super poofy sleeves.
And her little like fascinator, I don't know, whatever. You do you, boo boo. Lulu. You do you, Lulu.
You do you, Lulu. But like, I'm in no way a designer, but like, I don't feel like the bridesmaids' dresses matched in any way with anything.
Well,
in
the
that
whole wedding
Like,
was a
none of it.
disaster mess, so I guess that was all on theme. Disaster mess was maybe the theme.
Yeah, there you go.
Disaster piece. That was the theme.
Another plus in the bride's column is she knows herself. Disaster mess. And she just
Yeah.
leaned into it. I also really love the line when she's like, she sucker punched me while I was throwing up. Who does
Who
that?
does that?
But you also have to realize she's like 2 feet outside of the reception hall throwing up in the bushes. Who does that, Jen? Come on.
Right?
I mean, she drank a lot of drinks for her tiny little frame.
You out here drinking like you She-Hulk.
Wrong form. I just love the like being indignant about that while she's sitting there being like, she's clearly a different kind of party foul is being done by her. And she's like, she sucker punched me. Who does that?
She started it.
I love it.
And I love the way that she opens the conflict, or opens her fighting back, where when she turns and like the eyes open and it's, comes up from black, and she just stomps the ground while laying down and throws Titania back. I'm like, hell yeah, Jen, get it.
Yeah, that moment's great.
My mom was watching that and she's like, "Oh no, the wedding venue!" Like she got like very upset
Good
about
point,
the floor
Mom.
of the wedding venue. Yeah, no, they're not getting their deposit back for sure.
Liability insurance doesn't cover that.
I felt bad for that waitstaff that got like pummeled by Titania, like thrown into the guy, and he goes flying.
He really flew.
Like, and then he gets up like, ow, that hurt a lot. My body.
My back.
I've really got to watch less Marvel on days when I'm casting about a Marvel show, because I'm sitting here thinking about what happened in this fight. But I watched like 5 episodes of Jessica Jones today, 2 episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and half of Winter Soldier, and She-Hulk twice. They were kind of on in the background while I was doing work, but like still, I just went through a lot of Marvels.
Sounds like a good day.
It was a pretty good day.
You had like Marvel on shuffle or something.
No, my niece is watching through. She's about to watch Turn. She's very excited about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and she just is watching Winter Soldier right now. That's what we were doing before She-Hulk. And we're going to go back and finish it and then go watch Turn. And she's about to have her mind blown because she is so sure that May is in Hydra right now.
Oh, yeah.
She's
they
so
do that
sure.
whole thing.
Yeah, they do a whole thing with May.
Mm-hmm. She'll
That's
love
good.
May. She'll come around.
Oh, she will. She will. She's so sure May's a bad guy right now.
May's a badass.
She's a bad lady.
So I'm sitting there thinking about the fight and everything, and I'm just like, oh yeah, when she punched her and did no, that was Jessica Jones. Oh wait, no, that was Daisy. No, that was. I'm like jumping around. My brain can't focus on where we are.
When they were on the helicarrier and She-Hulk pushed Titania off.
And my mom was like, "Oh no, the wedding helicarrier!" And
The wedding helicarrier.
That would have been a better
confused.
wedding, Lulu.
That's a wedding I
Get
want.
yourself together.
the views, the views.
I will do that. Oh yeah, God, stunning view.
There's got to be a way to get married at like the Disney adventure, the Shield base at Disney now, right? There's got to be some sort of wedding package you can do, right?
Oh, there has to be.
Gotta be.
Maybe
There's gotta
Zombie
be.
Cat marries you.
Ooh. Until on death do we part.
That was my
I can
zombie
do
noise.
this all day.
I can do this all brains. Okay. Well, any other things we missed in this episode before we sign off?
Yeah, we
for
need to
this
talk
here
about the
podcast?
end.
Oh yeah.
Where
What happened at the end?
Intelligentsia website is
Oh yeah.
looked at
of
by
course.
Mallory and Nikki, and yeah, trolls are trolls, and I'm all for
Mhm.
ignoring trolls
Yeah,
until they are
but-
like threatening somebody's life like that, and that's not cool.
Yeah, that was not great.
No, it got really dark really
Yeah,
It got
fast.
super dark. And
for sure.
I want to mention, I want to give credit where credit's due. Gary Milton, my roommate, he turned to me after that episode and was just like, "So we're on the same page, right? Mallory's a bad guy." I was like, Are we?
Hmm.
the way that she looked when Jen was like, "I'm so glad we're best friends," or "I'm so glad we're
Yeah.
friends now." I think it was last episode, where she just kind of looks at her like, "You're allowed to be here, I guess." And then the way that she just kind of shushed Nikki about that site and was just like, "No, we're not going to tell her. Don't."
Well,
don't bother
and
her."
I don't believe her. As soon as she was like, "I've been married for 11 years in October," I'm like, "No, you haven't. You are full of it." Like 100%. I'm like, "No, you're lying."
Yeah.
But I didn't
And-
think. I thought maybe she's just lying for whatever lying's purpose. But maybe
See, I
she
don't-
is a baddie.
I haven't thought that she's a baddie, but I do think that she isn't a friend of Jen's necessarily. Like that line when she's like, "Oh, we're friends," and then she gives that look. I thought that was more just like she's not going to say no because she knows she can use this closeness to her advantage, but she's going to like, she would rather be in the head of the division. You know what I mean? Like she's not
Back to the competition thing.
Yeah,
Like,
I think she's a little competitive
the
with
enemy
Jen
of
and all
my
that.
friend is my frenemy, or whatever that saying is.
I hate to say it because I feel that way about Mallory. I really, this whole episode was worried how close she was getting to Nikki. I was like, But no, that's a good idea though. The fact that she tells them not to pursue. Who do we think is in that lab? Who's in that lab, you guys?
I couldn't tell what any of that stuff in there said, so my eyes are going
I'm gonna
bad.
have to.
So Hulk King, like Hulk King without a space. So it's either Hulking or Hulk King.
That was like it.
Yeah, he talks and says something about like it's time to move to the next phase or something like that.
Is it ready?
Is it ready?
Is the thing ready?
Right, and they have they have the needle that they tried to puncture her with last time, and it's all bent up, it's all Zorro-like, sitting next to the case of the new needle that is apparently built out of something that they think will pierce her yucky green skin.
It's also a lot thicker.
Yeah, it's a lot thicker. Ugh. I don't like it.
What a way to end the episode. Ding.
Right? Ugh.
But
Oh, sorry. I didn't hear that was a rim shot. I thought you said, but
it was
and
a
then you were
sad, slow rim shot.
But
you can't do a sad, slow one. How about Ched yelling "wedding fight" and then playing?
Oh, we got
And
a
playing
wedding
the
fight!
electric slide.
Yeah, playing the electric slide. That was so good.
So wonderful.
I thought there were a few great meta things that they did with it. Where she's like, "Oh no, it's happening." She's getting emotional in that moment because he just told her he really liked her and liked her for her, just Jen. And then she's like, "Oh no, it's happening." And I thought, like, are we about to find out that she like changes into the Hulk when she's super emotional or something? You know, like I don't know, like it was something. No. I was like trying to figure, but no, it's just that she was throwing up.
Yeah, no, I knew where she was going with that. That's been me at a wedding before. The drunkenness, the solo dancing, and the
Hayley, it's happening, Hobbs.
I'm going to legally change my name to that.
If you want to get real crazy with it, the Hobbsening.
The Hobbsening.
You know,
You seem disappointed with that.
that one's just like a little too much work.
a little too far.
Too many steps to get there. You know what I mean?
I do like that Josh just liked her, though.
Did he just like her though?
Are you sus of Josh now, too?
A little bit.
Ah. I'm clearly so naive. I'm just like, oh, he was so nice. He liked her for herself.
What I
He liked
liked
her for her.
What I liked so much about that wasn't so much that I think he's nice. Maybe he is. Maybe he's genuine. But what I do like is that they spent all this time setting up her feeling that way about She-Hulk versus Jen. And so when he says that, you know how much that means to her. And that's like a really nice moment. Whether he's being genuine or not. If he's being not genuine, it makes me mad. I don't like him ever again.
Yeah.
Well, it's a really nice moment. And that sets her up for the betrayal that he is going to have.
Very possible.
Maybe that's who Mallory's married to.
Ooh.
Mallory is Hulk King. And
Mallory is Josh.
He's in holy Mallory-mony.
I don't know about that one.
Another meta joke that I liked was Bruce, I've been trying to get a hold of you for weeks or months or days or whatever. And I like it because like these shows very specifically try not to nail down how long things take because the movie, and the movies do too, because they don't want people to do like, oh, 5 years later, wait, that doesn't make sense. Like they like to keep things a little squishy with the timeline. And so I loved that line. Hey, Bruce, it's been months or weeks or days. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm very drunk. Call me back, you ding dong. She calls him a ding dong, and I love that so much.
I hope he gets that voicemail out on Sakar.
Me too.
Like he listens to it, he's just like, the hell?
And it's literally been months.
Yeah. Months for him, but days for her. Because time works differently there.
Yeah, man.
Ding, ding, ding.
I also liked the line, Titania's like, come on, Hulk out. And she's like, I can take you like this. And she's like drunk and seeing two of Titania. It's just
I
so
love
silly.
drunk confidence. There's nothing like it.
There's
True.
nothing like
so
it.
true.
I was really appreciative in the beginning of the episode of the meta turn to camera, like, oh yeah, it's a wedding episode.
It's a self-contained wedding episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you think this is an inconvenient time, you're right. It is, because weddings always are.
If you think it's inconvenient that I just showed you Daredevil's helmet and now I'm going to spend a week at a wedding, then yeah, you should feel bad.
You should feel
I had
bad.
to say, I was like, it is inconvenient. We want to see him.
Yes, you have promised me Daredevil. You promised me Daredevil
Dangle,
in
dangle.
trailer. You dangled the Daredevil on a stick in front of me last episode.
I would love Daredevil on a stick.
And then now you're taking, like, first thought I was like, oh snap, maybe the wedding is in New York. She'll go flying to New York and then boom, we got him. But
Right.
then no, it's out in the middle of freaking nowhere, wherever the hell they are, with
They're on the
20
West
people.
Yep, it's clearly West Coast. That's some sort of wine country.
Ugh, it's the worst.
Okay, so who is trying to get Jen's blood? Who do you think? Because I've got a theory that I came up with today, and I really liked it.
Joshery. I don't know. That's the Josh Mallory combo.
I like it.
Okay, so we're putting Hayley down for Josh.
All right, Jeff, who's your call? Who's trying to get her blood?
Gary is probably going with Mallory. I am actually going to double down on Samuel Stearns.
I like that theory.
The leader.
The theory I came up with today was Sharon Carter, the power broker.
Get the hell out.
Because-
Are you kidding me?
Well, my thinking is if we get a little bit of Titania turns a little empathetic and she's not the big bad of the season exactly, but we need another female big bad to go up against her. I could totally see Sharon Carter coming in and being like power broker, and she's the one that's trying to get the blood. I feel like she would be trying to get her blood. If she sees a vulnerable Hulk and a chance to get that gamma radiated blood, Sharon Carter would be all over that.
No, they're out of it. Sorry. They didn't have the super soldier serum anymore.
Nope. The guy's dead.
The guy's dead, and they smashed all but one of them, which Buttface took.
Wyatt Earp.
Wyatt Earp.
Wyatt.
What's
Wrong
his name?
universe.
God.
What is that guy's name?
Wyatt Russell is the...
Wyatt Russell's the actor.
Yeah, Wyatt Russell's the actor you're thinking of. John Walker is...
John Walker.
USA.
Good
yeah.
God.
I said
US
John.
agent.
I was halfway there.
You were...
John Earp. Wyatt Walker. Wyatt Walker.
This is not Game
that's
of
from
Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
The crossover. Nobody knew they needed Wyatt Earp White Walker.
You'll see that at Dragon Con next year.
Yeah.
Just a big bushy mustache and like,
With a 6-shooter.
with a 6-shooter, the hat has the crown on it.
Yeah.
It's like a Tim Gallon with a crown.
With the crown above it. Yeah.
Wyatt Walker. I like it.
I reckon it's time to take over the Southern Kingdoms.
They are the Southern Kingdoms after all.
It writes itself, let's be honest.
So just to hedge my Sharon prediction that I don't really think is a prediction, I just like the idea. I think the tones would be really hard to make that work. I just wanted to throw that in there. Like the tone of Sharon Carter versus the tone of She-Hulk would be really weird to put together.
But they're doing it. They're taking those like hard left turns in the episode like they did on this one.
Are they? I mean...
Yeah, because all of a sudden it's like, oh, Jin's getting threatened to be killed. And
that's true.
Now there's creepy lab going on with Whole King and, you know.
Yeah, it feels very like... Sharon Carter feels like espionage thriller bad guy. This feels like Saturday morning cartoon bad guy to me, which I think like could get really bad and they could make a turn, but it's being such a comedy. Like so far, it feels like if him walking around that lab just feels like every. Mm-hmm. Did you guys ever see Buffy? Did you guys watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
some forever
One of
ago.
A little bit, not much.
One of the seasons, they have a group of villains called the Trio, and it's 3 nerds from previous seasons who have beef with Buffy for different reasons, and one turns out to be a magic user, one turns out to be like a tech guy, and one turns out to be something else. I don't even remember. But they it just turns into this weird season where they're literally sitting in like a layer that they're devised because they're nerds, and they're like, we are the villains. Like, it's like a meta sort of like they are intentionally being villains to Buffy. It's very good season, and really silly. This feels tonally like that. Like, when I see them walking around that lab, even though it's like terrible, especially with the online trolling, seems really scary, but it still feels like, I don't know, it still feels like so dastardly to me.
I'm going to throw in, like, here's somebody that we've only seen, now he's gone, but Abomination. Are we going to throw him in the ring as part of this collusion?
I don't know.
Or do we think he's gone with his soulmates on his land?
Oh, I want to believe that he's just gone with his 7 soulmates.
I want him to be like, I want him to still be Abomination and have some bad to him, but like, I don't think he's like mustache twirly bad. I don't know that he ever was. That's what I always liked about him. Like, he always wanted power, but I guess that's the thing. But he already has the gamma blood, right?
Yeah.
So he doesn't necessarily want that.
No, but is he helping somebody who has interest in it? Like, are he and Titania and, you know, Hither Fither helping all like in this thing to help the power broker get what she wants, or the leader, or somebody?
Yeah, no, that's not a bad theory. It's been discussed that it might be Titania who's sending people after her. But now that we've met Titania, I feel less like that's possible. Like, it feels like the things she's going after Gen 4 feel very small, and like she's attacking her like I don't know, she's like nipping at her heels.
It's not uncommon for her, though, to be a minion, basically.
In the comics.
And do other people's bidding.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
To me, she feels like her actions don't feel like they have bigger stakes. Like, in this episode, she probably could have gotten Jen's blood if she wanted it. Like, when Jen couldn't transform.
No, yeah. I feel like her thing is going to be, they're going to come to some kind of, maybe a reconciliation, or maybe just like a parting of the ways. And then somebody's going to come in and be like, hey, Titania, you want me to help you really get her? And then it's like, cut to black, you know.
Cut to black.
Yeah.
That is very possible.
I feel like Titania is kind of just the playground bully.
Yeah. I do too.
That general antagonist to keep us going, I guess, while they work something bigger in the background for us.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna circle back on Mallory book and say Mallory is probably not the superhero, or rather the superpowered or super whatever background bad guy. I think Mallory is probably going to turn out to be the fierce competition in her lawyer life.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
In the real life.
Yeah.
They're going to Melinda May her. Like, you think she's the villain, but she's really just...
I think she's still going to be an antagonist. Just, I think that she's going to stick to like workplace antagonism and
Gotcha.
Like butting heads as lawyers.
Yeah.
Or best frenemies as lawyers, maybe.
I like this theory. She will call in help from Abomination because Bruce is busy. Cordo B says she will need 2 Hulks. We need an old Hulk and a young Hulk.
I have 2 Hulks, one for each of you.
Okay.
Are they talking to Wyatt White Walker again?
Yeah, they brought in Wyatt Walker.
Okay, well, guys, I guess that's probably about all for this episode. Hayley, thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
Tell us where people can find your stuff.
Yes, Brian P. Klein and I are on the Source Pages. Well, we are the Source Pages podcast. We're not just on it. We're covering comics and novels that tie to all of this stuff, including some of the DC properties. So please check us out. We're on every known podcast platform. Plus, we have a Facebook page, a Twitter, and an Instagram.
Yeah.
Stranded Panda. That's right.
Go to strandedpanda.com and you can find Source Pages there. Links to all the things. That's where all our stuff is. So thank you guys. Thank you for being here, Hayley, for real, especially last minute hopping in. It really helped out.
It's my superpower.
That's my secret, Cap. I'm always podcasting.
She's always happening.
All right, guys. Well, we will be back soon. Peace.
Until next time, true believers.
Later, skaters.
Thank you for joining us for the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast. Available everywhere you get podcasts, and now a video version streaming live on twitch.tv/strandedpandatv and available at youtube.com/strandedpanda. And if you'd like to learn more about all of our other podcasts, geeky projects, and ways to support the network, visit strandedpanda.com.